Hello, welcome to the Clean Handbook. My name is Ross, if you did not know that already. And today we are going to be discussing 4 exercises that you need to stop doing, and we're going to give you 4 alternative exercises that you can do instead. The first 2 are shoulder exercises, and the reason we're going to stop doing these 2 is because they absolutely ruin your shoulders if they are done incorrectly or if you have a poor posture prior to being able to do these. The first one is an upright row. Now, the reason we're going to stop doing this one is the same reason we're going to stop doing the second one. So we'll cover it in detail on this one, and then we'll just skim over it on the second one. The reason we're going to stop doing upright rows is because the position of it puts the shoulder at the very top of the exercise. Here is not a good position to be in for the shoulder, especially when you're under load, and especially when you repeat it 10, 15 times for 3-5 sets every week for 3 months. The reason why it's a bad position is because it causes impingement syndromes, or it can cause impingement syndromes. What an impingement syndrome is, you have coming out of the shoulder here, you have the supraspinatus muscle, and it's got a very small gap for it to work in. So you've got the humerus, the head of the humerus here, and above that you have what's called the acromion, which is this bone here. Now through that comes the supraspinatus, and when you lift your shoulder into this position, it closes that gap and it squashes the supraspinatus. Over time, that supraspinatus becomes inflamed, and essentially that is what an impingement syndrome is. And that is something that you do not want. That's a very long-term injury that takes a long time to recover from. As an alternative for the upright row, we're going to be doing a half kneeling shoulder press. Now we're going to be in a half kneeling position to start with because it takes out 2 joints. It takes out the knees, or 3 joints, sorry, the knees, the ankles, and the hips. What we don't want to do is sway forwards with the hips when we're doing the shoulder press, and a half kneeling press, or doing it from a half kneeling position, makes it much less likely for that to happen. Then all we're going to do is a very simple shoulder press. Now the safest position, again, if we're being very strict, is palms facing towards themselves. So neutral grip is the safest place to have the grip to press with. If you want to go pronated, if you want to go supinated, it's up to you. If you want to go Arnold press, feel free. An Arnold press is where you twist as you press. The second exercise we're going to stop doing is dips, and this is essentially the same reason we are stopping the first exercise. The position it puts the shoulders in at the very bottom. Now we're going to be specifically talking about seated dips or bench dips. So where you have your feet on the floor or raised up, and then your hands are on a bench behind you and you're pressing from that. This is much worse than the normal dip because of the body being in front of the bench. So it puts the shoulder in an even worse position than it is on a normal dip. On a normal dip, you can get away with only dropping down a certain distance and not going all the way, and you should be all right. But from a seated dip position, we do not want to do that for the same impingement syndrome reasons as we were stopping the upright row. The alternative for the bench dips, we are going to do a close grip press up. Works the same muscles, the triceps, the chest, the shoulders a little bit, without the risk of injury. The third exercise we're going to avoid is crunches, and we're going to be avoiding these exercises because of 2 reasons. The first is the position it repeatedly puts the spine into when we crunch over, and the second reason is the function of the rectus abdominis muscle, which is the 6-pack muscles at the front. Now the 6-pack muscles, the rectus abdominis, have essentially their job is to flex the trunk. However, their function actually starts from behind neutral. So if this is a straight spine, we are stood up straight here. The rectus abdominis muscle actually works from here to here. So from a forward perspective, we go from 0, the rectus abdominis muscle works for about 30 degrees here. However, from 0 backwards, it works for about 45 degrees. So if we just keep doing crunches, hundreds of crunches every day, and we just keep going from here to here all the time, then we get very strong in this part of the range, and we get very weak from this part to this part. That's not good. Posturally, what we end up doing is we end up standing like this. Instead of being nice and up tall, we end up all crunched over and essentially in a crunch position day to day, which isn't a good thing for the spine. That leads to shoulder pain, back pain, lower back pain and upper back pain, and neck pain, and possibly even headaches, which is also essentially the second reason, the position of the spine. So we strengthen the rectus abdominis in this position, the spine curves over. That was the first reason we discussed. So 2 in 1 there. What we're going to do instead is a Swiss ball crunch. Now this takes into account the 45 degrees behind the middle point. So what we do on the Swiss ball crunch is we extend right back over the ball. Hands are going to be on the ears, so we don't want to support the head. Head is going to touch the ball. We're going to curl the neck in, chin tucks right into the chest, and then the shoulders roll up the ball. We pause for a second at the top, and essentially we unwind from there. So we uncurve the spine, shoulders touch the ball, head then extends and touches the ball from there. And the last exercise we're going to stop doing, number 4, is going to be straight leg deadlifts. A few reasons why we don't want to do straight leg deadlifts. Number 1 is it's very hard to keep a very good spinal position when you are doing it. You'll see here, Carol loses her spine a couple of times in the video when we're not trying to even do that. And the second reason is because when the knees are locked out, it means the glutes can't do any work whatsoever. And we want the glutes to do work. We don't want the hamstrings just to work on their own, because that again leads to imbalances, and injuries always come from imbalances. Instead, we're going to do a normal deadlift. We're going to bend our knees like they are meant to bend. It's as simple as that. So replace straight leg deadlifts with normal deadlifts, Swiss ball crunches for crunches, and upright rows and dips for the close grip press ups and the half kneeling shoulder press. Avoid those 4 exercises, replace them with the good ones, and your shoulders will be healthier, your back will be healthier, your core will be healthier, you'll have a better six-pack, and you won't have a bad back. Thank you for checking out the video. If you haven't already, click the button below and subscribe to the channel, and click just there to see some of our other videos.